Hey everybody out there, my name is Sean Joy, aka Dragnix, and welcome back to The Hunt. If you don't know what The Hunt is, basically it's the games that I played during the week that have significance, whether it be they were first released this week, whether they were on sale this week, or have some kind of newsworthiness to it. Short segments, get right to the point, and let's go and hunt. The Spatials. I played this with a key obtained from the developer from my channel, so keep that in mind. Take a dash of Star Trek, a pinch of a basic action RPG. You mix together elements of Roller Coaster Tycoon and tack on some random humor of paper cut hospitals, and you get something close to the Spatials. The variety is definitely here in terms of the building element, as those who love the micromanagement style simulator will enjoy this game. There's a lot of options to keep your visitors to the station happy. The game goes at a slow, methodical pace that won't do well with some, but will do well with players who are willing to wait around and want to control every aspect. The action sections, however, are hit and miss, as at higher difficulties, there is an element of strategy to it, but you lack control over your away team party. You only control the 5 of them at once, and the reliance on ranged combat hinders the experience a little bit. There's just a lot of content here, crew maintenance, different buildings, control over a crew's behavior. The Spatials has a lot of content and has a bunch of bang per buck, that's for sure, and if you really need a roller coaster tycoon type experience, you can't do much better than what the Spatial has to offer, despite its flaws. Paperbound. Played with a key obtained from the developer from my channel, so keep that in mind. Trying to follow up in Towerfall Ascension's footsteps, Paperbound lets you battle within the books of old fiction as a variety of characters both familiar and not, in this local multiplayer battler. The twist of this one is that when someone hits the win condition and stays in the lead, a tear opens up in the world, and the leader has to escape through the tear. With regular melee, a pair of throwable scissors, and a short-range area ink bomb, chaos erupts when someone tries to escape, and for some, that will definitely add to this skill-based battler, although I wasn't a fan due to the weird dynamic it creates, especially with the AI. They guard the portal like their life is on the line, making it like a 3-on-1. There's a bunch of levels, but what the game is missing are power-ups to vary up combat over time. In the end, for those who are looking for a skilled-based battler similar to like Final Destination with no items in Super Smash Bros., then Paperbound will be up your alley for either the PC or the PS4. Now if it only had an online multiplayer, it would stand out even more. Don't understand why titles like that don't go that route, but hey, I'm not the developer in question. Jaques Roque. A puzzler that doesn't really do anything to stand out within its genre. The game gets boring quickly, as it's basically you attempting to go around and collect all the treasure and escape the level with it. There's no difficulty here really, and while there are a few clever levels here and there, the problem comes in variety almost immediately. There's just too little variety here to justify its price, and honestly, this game feels like it was meant for the mobile platform even though it doesn't have one. The visuals are meh, the puzzles are meh, the game just doesn't stand out in any way, and it's missing a couple of options that would make things more interesting in terms of puzzle solving, like tracking number of moves needed. With the vast number of good puzzle games that you can get out there for cheap, this game unfortunately is just not worth your time. Out There Omega Edition. I played this via a key obtained via TechRaptor via the developer, so keep that in mind. Think FTL scaled back a notch, as the former mobile game comes to iOS and Android, and Steam with more ships, upgraded resolutions, and more story. The base of this roguelite experience has you managing your resources to keep your hull, oxygen, and fuel levels above critical, as you explore the galaxy and find out more about yourself and the human race. You can pick up upgrades and ships along the way, as you do your best to deal with the randomization element that the game throws at you, which can be pretty harsh at times. It is addicting like most roguelikes can be, seeing the combinations or strategies that can get you further and further, and taking advantage of what the game has given you, but you will die, and you will lose. That's a guarantee. Simply put, one simple decision can be the end of your run, so those who are looking for a more laid-back game, but still wants a challenge, can look here. The question is, if you really truly want it on the PC, or really want more content rather than the original version of the game that is most likely along the same experience, just a little bit downgraded. Needless to say, regardless of version, I did enjoy my time with Out There Omega Edition. Finding Teddy 2. A Metroidvania experience that's got its looks going for it, but will not do well with today's general audience. The game has a great fantasy setting, as your Teddy is stolen by a spider who just wants a friend, and you go on an adventure in an open world. While there's some changes up in the formula, with slower combat and more emphasis on looking for hidden portions of the world, the main feature that people may take issue with in this game is the lack of direction. The game tells you nothing, not where to go, not what to do, not even how to use parts of the combat system, like blocking with the shield. that's going to off-put several people, as getting lost in this game is rather easy, and I hit a point where I had no idea what to do. It will take you back to games like Simon's Quest in some ways, which isn't necessarily a good thing. But its visual style and overall narrative feeling do make it stand out a bit, as the animation quality is high and makes you want to see more of what happens to this little girl just fighting back to find her teddy. The game is definitely for explorers, but others may want to stay away from it, as getting lost and unsure what to do will get frustrating even after an hour of gameplay, let alone beyond that. Crazy Steam Brothers 2. Nope. A game that's obviously designed for the mobile platform, but it came to Steam first. Its god-awful controls and bugs all over the place make for an experience that was not only forgettable, but just plain bad. You see, that's the thing about controls. If they don't suit your game whatsoever or the game design that you're going for, you're going to bomb in terms of the player experience, and the devs of Crazy Steam Brothers 2 needed to realize that before releasing this on Steam. I'm actually unsure how the controls would work on the mobile platform of this game either at this point, and that's where the main problem with CSB2 is design. You need to focus on what platform and system first, and put your effort all into that. Sure, you can set up for better design elements down the road, but don't sacrifice the main gameplay, which is pretty boring, and control scheme for it, which is what this game, in my mind, did. There's absolutely no reason to pick up this game at this point. It's a disappointment. Nightbanes. A free-to-play collectible card game that's a little bit different from its brethren, but suffers from some of the same problems that the genre has. The one card a turn and emphasis on correct deck construction is actually a good change of pace for the genre, but it has a downside. Collectible card games have a tendency to cause avalanche effects, aka when one person gets a lead, it can snowball very quickly into a win or loss, and that's what I see really in Nightbanes, to the point of extreme. While the paywall can be there if you get frustrated without building the right deck, or having the right cards to counter decks that have really good synergy, it ultimately comes down to whether or not you want to spend the time needed to not pay for content in Nightbanes, and if it's got enough complexity to keep you interested over time. Sadly, it doesn't necessarily do the job for me, despite interesting creature abilities and different strategies, but it may be worth a look if you're desperate for a free-to-play experience. And that's it for this week. I will add an extra this week because there's a great Humble Bundle still going on this week, and if you haven't taken a look at it, now's the perfect time to do so. There's a great collection of games, from Shadow Warrior to Torchlight 2 to unique games like Unepic. It's a great collection of games for the price, and it's a perfect bundle to cap off the week of games. Now, if I could find the time to actually play through all these games, that would even be more perfect. C'est la vie. Well, anyway, on to next week's releases. The big one in my mind is actually a re-release, but onto a whole new mobile platform. Xenoblade Chronicles 3D comes to the new Nintendo 3DS on April 10th. This epic RPG made for the new Nintendo 3DS suffers a small graphical downgrade to fit the mobile console, but the base of this fantastic RPG goes for innovative combat and great design. There's a reason why Shulk got into the Super Smash Bros. Roster, and here's the game that brought him to the forefront. I didn't play the original, and I'm actually really thinking about not getting the game. Why? It comes with the territory. I need to play 7 games a week, and getting addicted to an RPG right now? Probably a problem. But knowing me and my habits, I will cave and get it anyway. Games. Next, we have the 3DS mix-up of Etrian Odyssey and Mystery Dungeon and Etrian Mystery Dungeon for the Nintendo 3DS. Yes, I probably pronounced that wrong. I apologize. The Dungeon Crawler is a turn-based experience that dives deeper into the Etrian series, and this is definitely the week of the mobile RPG for the 3DS. Fire comes out on Steam on April 9th. A puzzle adventure game, the artwork stands out in its comical artwork style in this quest to find the gift of that wonderful, wonderful fire after Ung is banished from his village and dozing during his first night watch. That's not exactly the greatest of night watchmen. There's not a lot of information regarding what kind of game it is, but with the lack of new releases this week, this is the game that I will most likely be looking at. The 4X genre gets another game in its collection in Star Drive 2 on April 9th. The game has been called a successor to the Master of Orion series, which is a game series that I loved, despite it not being one of my favorite genres. I'm cautiously optimistic about the game. There's a custom ship design mode that sounds interesting, and hopefully it'll bring some more new elements to the table. And here's the rest of the games for this week. This week is a heck of a lot of ports and re-releases when it comes down to it, which is hard to get excited about. I mean, for a new audience, sure, but in the end, it's the same game at its base. But hey, that's what's great about the indie game scene. There's always a new game to look at almost every day, and while sometimes it can come out of nowhere, there's the great thing about looking for games for the hunt. They can come out of nowhere. Because you get games like Runestone Keeper and Talamir that you keep on playing for weeks at a time and get a wonderful bang for your buck. Sure, you get a stinker or two, or a game that makes absolutely no sense, but hey, it's like the lottery. Sometimes you hit big, other times you strike out. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to try to actually go beat a game. Hey everybody, my name is Sean Joy, aka Dragnix, and I thank you for watching. If you do like this video, hit that like button, and if you do want more content like this from TechRaptor, hit that subscribe button. I will be doing content for TechRaptor on Mondays and Thursdays video-wise, and then doing the rest of the week on the video on my own channel. Thank you for watching, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Also, play more games. Needs more games.